Chapter 1. The Discovery. Ethan Thompson had always been drawn to the wild, open spaces where nature's raw beauty could speak to him in whispers carried by the wind. A geologist by training and an adventurer at heart, Ethan found solace in the Australian Outback, a place where the vast desert met the endless sky. Recently divorced and searching for a sense of purpose, he decided to embark on a solo hiking expedition, hoping to find clarity and peace in the rugged terrain. Ethan's journey began at dawn, the first light of the sun painting the horizon with hues of orange and pink. The air was crisp and cool, a stark contrast to the heat that would later engulf the landscape. Equipped with a sturdy backpack, hiking boots, a canteen, and his trusted geologist hammer, Ethan felt prepared for whatever the outback had to offer. He also carried a journal, an old habit from his university days, where he recorded his observations and thoughts, turning his experiences into stories and sketches. The terrain was challenging, with loose rocks and steep inclines testing his endurance. As he navigated through dry creek beds and over rocky hills, Ethan felt a growing sense of exhilaration. The isolation was liberating, each step carrying him further from the noise of civilization. The only sounds were the crunch of gravel underfoot, the occasional call of a distant bird, and the rustling of the sparse vegetation in the wind. Around midday, as the sun climbed higher and the heat intensified, Ethan decided to take a break. He found a shaded spot under a rocky overhang, where he could rest and take in the stark beauty of the landscape. As he sipped water from his canteen, his eyes wandered across the terrain, observing the subtle shifts in color and texture that spoke of the geological history of the land. It was in this moment of quiet contemplation that he noticed something unusual, a narrow fissure in the rock face, partially obscured by a cluster of shrubs. Curiosity piqued, Ethan approached the fissure. It was narrow, barely wide enough for him to squeeze through, but it seemed to lead into darkness. Pulling out his flashlight, Ethan hesitated for a moment, considering the potential risks of exploring such a confined space alone. But the thrill of discovery outweighed his caution, and he carefully made his way inside. The passage was tight, forcing Ethan to crouch and navigate through twists and turns. The air was cool and damp, a stark contrast to the dry heat outside. After what felt like an eternity, the passage opened into a larger chamber, and Ethan's flashlight revealed a sight that took his breath away. The walls of the cavern glittered with gold, the precious metal embedded in the rock, reflecting the light in a dazzling display. Ethan stood in stunned silence, his mind racing with disbelief and excitement. Gold, in its natural state, was more beautiful than he had imagined, with a warm, lustrous glow that contrasted sharply with the dull stone around it. He approached the walls, running his fingers over the nuggets, feeling the cool, hard metal under his touch. It was as if he had stumbled upon a hidden treasure, a secret kept by the earth for millennia. As the initial shock wore off, practical thoughts began to intrude. Ethan knew the value of gold, not just in monetary terms, but also as a symbol of opportunity. He carefully pried a few small nuggets from the wall, weighing them in his hand. The gold felt heavy and substantial, a tangible promise of a better future. He pocketed the nuggets, his mind awhirl with plans and possibilities. For the next few hours, Ethan explored the cavern, his flashlight revealing more gold and intricate rock formations. He took meticulous notes in his journal, sketching the layout of the cavern and marking the richest deposits. The journal, once a record of geological observations, now held the secrets of his remarkable find. As the light outside began to fade, Ethan realized it was time to leave. Reluctantly, he made his way back through the narrow passage, emerging into the twilight. He built a small cairn of stones at the entrance, a subtle marker to ensure he could find his way back. As he hiked back to his campsite, the reality of his discovery began to sink in. The gold represented a new beginning, a chance to rebuild his life after the turmoil of his divorce. But even as he reveled in his newfound fortune, a small voice in the back of his mind cautioned against counting his riches too soon. Ethan couldn't have known then that his discovery would lead him down a path of danger and revelation, testing his character and ultimately teaching him what was truly valuable in life. For now, he was filled with a sense of anticipation and hope, eager to return to the cavern and uncover more of its secrets. As he lay in his tent that night, the weight of the gold nuggets in his pocket served as a reminder of the day's extraordinary events, setting the stage for an adventure that would change his life forever.